everyone, we are here with Jakob from Oh Hiroshima. If you don't know them, you are fucking missing out. They're a tremendous two-piece based out of Sweden, correct?
Yeah,
Um, it's what do they call it? Post-rock, I guess.
sure. Yeah, I
Um,
guess.
yeah, I don't know. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. Like it starts out so strong and the melodies are fantastic. Um, I honestly I can't get over it, like how awesome it is.
Cool.
So the project is you and your brother Oscar,
Yeah, correct.
uh, and you guys started this probably almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, even more. It was like 15 years ago or something.
Okay.
In the beginning was me and like a friend of mine from high school. And then gradually we added more members, including my brother, and now we're the ones left. So yeah, but we've been doing it for a long time. So
Yeah. I mean that's great. You guys the upcoming album All Things Shining are is what, five or six?
no, number five.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's like I knew it was right in there somewhere.
sure.
Uh, and that, if I'm not mistaken, it's coming out on Pelagic. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
What a tremendous roster they have also.
Yeah. We're really happy to be able to because it's our first album on that label, and we were very happy that they're willing to work with us. And as you say, some really amazing bands on there, and I think I mean, we felt right at home. Uh, and it's a label we've known about for a long time, also, and been
Yeah.
listening to the bands there, so
Yeah. I
we're
think,
happy about it.
that Pelagic, obviously, like I feel like every artist on that on the label is just tremendous,
Mm.
Mono, The Ocean, et
Yeah,
cetera, et cetera, the list goes on and on. So to know that you guys are putting this out on there, I think you fit really, really well with the entire roster. Um, and I feel like that's a really good, you know, push behind you also.
absolutely. Yeah.
So
And I mean, I know I mean, they're looking for bands that truly want to do their own thing and being authentic, and so and that doesn't follow the trends or ape after other stuff. So I mean, that's what we're trying to do with our band as well. So I mean, it's nice to see that they feel this way about us, and yeah, very
yeah,
happy about the collaboration so far.
that's awesome. It's always great when there's I'm going to just call it a collective. You've got Pelagic obviously pulls what I'm going to call really authentic bands together. You're right. Just like you were saying that they're not out there trying to follow trends and and do whatever. They're doing the music that really makes them happy. And it really, I mean, it just comes across on every album. It's fantastic. Plus,
Mm.
like the vinyl variants that they put together are
Oh
like,
yeah, so beautiful. Yeah.
yeah,
And, that's never been like a strong part for me, or I think like that aesthetic side. So to have a label that's really good at that, I mean, it's perfect for us as well, And I mean, when you see those vinyls, those limited edition stuff, I mean, it enhances the music as well, to be able to play it on such a beautiful creations. So very happy with that as well.
absolutely. So who did the artwork for All Things Shining? Because that's a pretty tremendous like cover that you all have.
Yeah, we're very satisfied with the cover. It wasn't made like for the album, but we found it online, so it was already finished. It was like in the middle of the writing process, and I thought this time around I'm gonna try to find the cover in before we have to return the material. Every album it's always the same, we have to like, I mean, send over everything in like a couple of weeks, and we don't have a cover or something, and we need to fix things very quickly. So I wanted to be out, in good time. And so I just started to search. I was scrolling through Instagram, trying to find, some designer that I liked and that we could contact, to see if we could make something. And I just came upon this the artwork. It's a guy. His name's Wilson Trouveau or something like that. So I just contacted him and asked if I could buy it because I felt this will fit perfectly for the songs we're writing, and that was fine. And then like another guy called Benny, he made like the rest of the vinyl artwork except for the front cover. So it was a guy that the Pelagic knew, so they got us in touch with him. So.
That's awesome. That that's the other thing, right? Like you get hooked up with people and they have all these
Yeah,
connections.
yeah, it's perfect, perfect.
Yeah. So when you all started writing All Things Shining, did you like have a direction in mind, or did it just kind of come natural and you went with it?
Yeah, it was kind of a conscious decision to move in that direction. I think because I mean, from the beginning, our band was like we wanted to make post rock music, and I think especially our first album is very post rock, and then we added some other influences, but still, I mean, kept within that frame, uh, you could say. And but for our previous album Myriad, we felt that we wanted to expand our sound and broaden it to include more other things we're listening to, and this is kind of a continuation of that. We were very happy with the results, and we wanted to push things even further with this album. So it was definitely a conscious choice, and we knew in what direction we wanted to take it. We wanted to add it's a bit more vocals, and the vocals are a bit more upfront and a bit more uh, louder in the mix as well. Maybe a bit lower than most records still, but it was a bit of a change for us, as we usually just write instrumental songs and then add vocals to some parts where we feel like it could fit. But this time we had some parts where the vocals was like the focus point from the beginning. So that was something we just felt like doing with this record, and yeah, very happy with the results, and I think it reflects pretty good what we're into ourselves also. So.
Well, that's awesome. Again, like it is such a beautiful like piece of work. Like I honestly cannot get over it. I'm like, Jesus.
Nice,
Um,
thanks.
and it's cool that you guys, had a conscious direction with it. I feel like sometimes that's really hard to do for an artist. You're like, oh, I really want to go this direction, and it ends up being something way over here.
Sure, sure. Yeah, and the bands that I enjoy and like, it's bands that try to develop and evolve and move in new directions and include different things. I kind of get bored with some bands that do the same album over and over again. I mean, there's bands who can do that in terrific way, but I feel for myself, I need to challenge myself to stay stimulated, and there's so much great music. um, I usually say that I have always like 10 bands in the back of my head that I want to start in like different genres.
Yeah.
um, so it was nice to be able to include as much of that as possible in the one band that I have the time to to be managing at the
Yeah.
moment.
Well, and that I think that's the other thing with musicians, right? Like musicians typically they have like their one main like band or main outlet,
Yeah,
and there's always those other bands in the back like, okay, so we're doing this really cool like thrash thing, but maybe we go over here and do a little punk, or you know what? Let's do an
sure.
acoustic thing, and you're like, hold on.
Yeah, yeah.
What's going on? So it's good. I feel like it also helps the creativity, right? Because when you're doing something with that main project, you're like you said, you're challenging yourself, and it keeps it interesting.
Yeah, I hope so. That's the goal. So.
Yeah. So like for you, early on, what was there an artist that you heard or saw live that just really you were like, I gotta play music because that is just amazing.
I can't say there was like a lot of bands that I saw live when I started to play music, but I mean for post rock, when I like kind of discovered that genre, I went to see as many bands as I could, like this Swedish band uh, EF or EF or whatever you want to call it, from Gothenburg. They're on Pelagic too. I saw them early on, and Mono as well when they were in Sweden, and went to Explosions in the Sky and Mogwai and those kinds of bands. And I mean, experiences on those shows definitely just enhanced the feeling that this was the kind of music that we wanted to continue making, powerful music, emotional music that kind of creates like a world where you can just step into and be like in another room or something, and just disconnect from the whole world outside. So absolutely.
Yeah, something that, that my favorite thing about live music is you do disconnect from the outside world, and I feel like everyone at the show connects, and that's,
Mm.
at our core, we we need that connection to help with our mental health.
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, I mean it's bigger than just individual persons going to like a like some place and just listen to music. It's the collective thing, that creates this atmosphere and makes it such I mean tremendous experiences when you go to a really good live show. So
Yeah.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah, one really cool memory that I have, the ocean came through where I live, and they were
Mm.
playing with who are they playing with? They were playing with the Atlas Moth and a local band called Ulm.
Mm.
And Ulm is tremendous. They are
I
just,
love home actually.
you know them, huh?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Just fantastic. Like, I love the music, and I'm standing there watching, and a couple of the guys from the ocean come out and stand next to me, and we just kind of look at each other, and everyone goes, "Wow." They're
Yeah, I can
like,
imagine. I would love to see them live. I haven't seen them. I don't know if they're like been in Europe a lot, but yeah, I've
"Nah,
heard terrific live band. So yeah,
yeah, yeah,
a
they
bit jealous
absolutely
there.
mind blowing." So it was a really cool, like, those connections at shows always. That's where I make my friends at shows, because of that.
Yeah, cool.
You're like, yeah. Um, so do do you have like a favorite live show memory that sticks out?
I guess I mean it's kind of the things where you went to when you were a bit younger, maybe when your senses weren't so dull or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, besides from like the post rock bands that I went to see. Maybe I went to see Woe in Hand, a band that I really enjoy
Mhm.
and love, and I went to see them. I don't know, probably 20 years ago, maybe. Could be so long. Yeah, 15 years ago at least, when they were in Sweden. That was like also I have just heard a couple of songs from them before, and this concert blew my mind. I was completely taken over by it, and it's also cool when bands that you haven't really listened to can do that thing, because otherwise, I mean, often it's like the songs that you really, really love that you're waiting for, and that creates the most intense feeling during a
Yeah.
concert. But the songs were completely new to me, the most of them, and still it was just this fantastic experience. So yeah, I would probably say that show.
That's awesome. That is like, you can't ask for anything better than that. You go there not knowing most of the music
Mm.
and are still just taken away into this other world. It's like, best thing ever,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
absolutely.
So, with this album cycle, do you all have plans to, hit the road and go tour and take it out live, like, around the world?
Yeah, as far as we're able, we try to tour as much as possible. We got a European tour that we just announced a couple of weeks ago in December, so that's going to be really great. And we're playing Pelagic Records have like a 15-year anniversary festival in August in Netherlands, so we're playing there as well, 20 August 24, I think. And then we have we just announced a show in Greece in the beginning of next year, and we're gonna do like another leg um, for of the tour in somewhere around there as well. So we got some stuff cooking.
Right on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I, I'd like to get you guys in the States.
Oh yeah, we would love to come across the pond.
Yeah.
So as soon as the possibility arises, I'm sure we'll jump right on it.
Yeah. Awesome. Because I don't mind going across to come see you. I just got to okay it with my wife.
Yeah, yeah, sure. That's always the thing, right?
Yeah, for sure. So what, ultimately with this album, do you like hope it reaches a certain level or, gets out somewhere that you guys haven't been before?
I mean, of course, it's so hard to know beforehand where your album's gonna end up and so on. But of course, you're always hoping for more and new listeners. And I think it's gonna be because we were on Napalm Records before, which is, I mean, it's a bigger label, but it's very different from Pelagic.
Yeah.
Uh, we felt a bit, maybe a bit like uh, off on
Red
that
like
label.
like a redheaded stepchild.
Sure, sure. But it was also cool to get that experience with that big label, and it's kind of nice, to be to be the red. What did you say? The red-headed stepchild.
Yeah.
Um, so looking forward to see where Pelagic certainly has people following them that should be able to enjoy our music. So yeah, I hope there's people out there that will appreciate it.
Yeah, I think the people that are like followers of Pelagic will absolutely adore you all. So I feel like that's again, I think it's just a great fit. All those all those people are I feel really good people. I don't know them, I just feel like they're really good people from talking, everyone's
Sure,
real
yeah.
happy
I mean,
being
you've
on the
been
label.
headbanging to home with them, right?
Yeah. So it's always fun. What is there an area that you and Oscar like to go and play more than other places?
I mean, the US would be great, of course. We haven't played a lot live with this project. It was kind of in the beginning, it was kind of slow. It took time for us, to get to where we are now, where we're able to do proper tours and so on. And it was also more like a recording project for a long time. So it was just before the pandemic that we started to, plan our first real proper tours and so on. And then the pandemic hit, so we had to wait, a couple of years. Yeah. So it was mainly after the pandemic that we started to do more shows abroad and so on. So there's actually a lot of places where we would love to go and where we haven't been. So it's hard to pick one, but yeah,
Oh,
everywhere where we haven't been when there's people who are willing to come and listen to our music.
sure, sure. I think what I meant was, is there a place that you guys have been to and played already that you
Oh,
like
okay. We
playing?
want to go back to. Um, yeah, we did like a short run in December last year, like the Netherlands and Belgium. That was really great. People were really into it, and I feel just being from Sweden, that like the concert culture is so much better in like Germany and Netherlands and so on. Nobody goes to shows in Sweden, and it's very hard for a band like us in a bit more narrow genre to find good shows. The towns are pretty small, so I mean, most places in Europe seem better to play in than Sweden actually.
Ah, I I would have guessed that Sweden would have like a tremendous live music scene.
Yeah, I mean, there is for I guess bigger bands,
Okay.
but it's like it's not that people go to. There's very few smaller, good clubs or whatever that take in bands, and it's hard to get a good start, to get going.
Yeah.
It's like you have to jump several steps up the ladder before you're able to get shows, and you have to play the right kind of music. Of course, I mean Sweden is a metal country, so I
Yeah.
think for bands more into that genre, it's maybe a little bit easier. But I mean, there's also tons of metal bands here, so
Yeah. Yeah. There are a ton of metal bands in Sweden,
absolutely. Hmm.
you know. Think that, all of, that whole like region in the world is it's so inundated with metal and,
Sure.
all the satanic shit, which is I dig it. Like I dig I like all sorts of music.
Yeah.
So I assume that it was probably very difficult for you all being, post rock trying to go and probably on some weird shows with some metal bands and you're like, well, we don't really fit here.
Yeah. I mean, in the beginning, we didn't really get any shows, so we didn't really play with that. You went to like 3 hours on a weekday night, and like five people shows up, and then drive 3 hours home. Sleep at 3 in the morning, and then go up to work. I mean, those kinds of experiences. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm happy to be able to go down the continent and do some shows there. It's great.
There's a lot. I'll tell you, there's a lot of that here too, right? You go
Yeah,
out,
yeah, I can imagine.
bands come in from out of town and they go to a show and it's like, uh, oh, cool. There's the bartender and like the two regulars at the bar and the rest of the
Yeah,
bands. You're like, yeah,
sure.
some other people are here. That's awesome. Um, so are you guys actively trying to break into other markets? Like methodically, I guess, say, oh, we're already in this region. That's only a couple of hours out. Let's go and do that.
Yeah, you mean for like live shows?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean we got a great booker now that we did the last tour with, and that helped us book the tour for December as well. So I mean we we don't really know this kind of stuff, so we just let the professionals handle it. I mean maybe we say like it would be nice to go here, and it's hard to know if you haven't been to play at a certain city or a country. You don't know if people's going to show up. I mean you have all these statistics, right, about of who listens to your music and where from which cities they are and so on, so you can check that. But I mean that doesn't always mean that people want to go to your shows.
Right.
So I mean you try to to I mean find the places where people come and watch. And of course, I mean it's easier in the like bigger cities in Europe, like if you go to Paris or something. I mean, more people will be in the near area and or that listen to you, so it's easier to get good shows there.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely a more likelihood in the more densely populated areas to
Yeah,
get
yeah, sure.
a larger crowd.
Yeah,
Um, I know it's real hard for smaller bands to go out, right? It costs so much money to, rent a van or buy a van
yeah,
and go
sure.
go tour. You're like, oh,
Mm,
please buy my record. You're
yeah.
like out panhandling on the street, like record for $30 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean it's always a bit of a risk, and you have to kind of guess how much merchandise you're going to sell, and then buy hopefully the right amount. It was like
Yeah.
the first tour we did after the pandemic. We were supporting God is an Astronaut, this other great band from Ireland, and we we bought like so many like double XL T-shirts and hardly sold anyone. So we're still trying, to get those off our
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
You're, yeah. You're like, great deal on all these extra large
Actually,
t-shirts.
yeah, we're giving away if someone comes up and wants to buy one, we always give them two. I mean,
Here, take them.
sure.
It's like, oh, you bought a record. Here, take a shirt too.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
but I'm a small. I know this is for nighttime. Like here,
That's a good tip.
that's awesome. So like as far as t-shirts go, do you guys, when you go out on the road, or let me rephrase that. How
Mm.
often do you put like a new t-shirt design out?
Uh, I mean, for as I said earlier, we haven't done that many tours, but usually before depends on how. I mean, usually you make maybe one new design for each new tour. For this album, we made two new designs that Pelagic are selling, and that will bring ourselves also on tour. So and then there's always a couple of t-shirts left from previous runs and so on. So we usually maybe have a couple or three different types of t-shirts. It depends, and it's always hard to know what kind of. We try to make t-shirts with a bit different kind of designs, just to figure out what people want to, what kind of style people are digging, and it's kind of hard because I think the people that listen to our music, they come from kind of different musical worlds. Like
Mhm.
some may be more like from the indie rock stuff. Some are more into like metal and so on. And we have those different kinds of people coming to the shows because we're as musicians, we bring stuff from both of those worlds. So I mean,
Yep.
it's kind of natural. But then they like different kinds of aesthetics. So you have to try to to keep them in different types of designs,
Yeah.
keep everyone happy.
It's hard. That's really hard, to do that. I think I look at t-shirt designs very similar to music, right?
Mm.
Design something that you want to wear or that you like,
Yeah, sure.
and people end up buying it. Like I'm the weirdo. I go to a show, I like a band, and I always try to buy at least one shirt from a band that I like and a physical copy of,
Yeah,
their music.
sure. Yeah, I mean it's so important to on tour to get the economics in balance, to
Yeah,
be able to sell merch. I mean, I don't know if people realize how big of a deal it is. And I mean, if you
huge.
don't sell anything, you'll lose money. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you don't ever sell anything, where does the money come from,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
It it's real tough. Like my garage is full of shirts right now.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm probably in thousands of shirts. It's terrible.
Wow.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
My wife's like, you got to get rid of them. Like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah,
Uh,
but that's great supporting the bands.
yeah,
It's appreciated.
for sure. So what about you? Like, as far as other bands go, do you like collecting things from them, such as t-shirts or records or CDs?
No, I'm actually really bad at that. I used to, back in the CD days, I bought a lot of CDs. So I have, I mean, this big, or it's not huge, but I have a CD collection down in the like garage or something in a box or two. But I mean, it's just sitting there, and I haven't really gotten into the vinyl. I guess I could, but try to keep out of it just so I won't go bankrupt.
Yeah,
um, you have to pick your
pick.
poison.
Yeah, you definitely have to pick your vices. Like that's
Yeah, yeah. But I love the idea about vinyl, the thing that you put on a record that and you kind of listen to it song to song. And I mean that for us, and I guess for most bands, you take a lot of time to figure out how to place the songs and so on to create a good flow. And you miss out on that if you're skipping between tracks. And also for us, it's also very important to make an album that you feel really is unified as a whole. I mean, we would rather cut out a good song even if you feel like it don't belong to the album. Actually, several songs on All Things Shining were written before our previous album Myriad, but we didn't think they fit on that album, so we just put them aside. And but this time around, felt like a couple of them fit right in. And I mean, so as a band, you love it when people play the record from front to back.
Yeah.
That's how you try to structure the album and so on. So I love vinyls, now with all the different color variations and everything. And I usually try to get the t-shirts from the bands that I like, but a lot of bands, they don't come tour in Sweden that often, so you have to like order them from the US or something, can get quite expensive, but for the favorites, of course, it's worth it.
It's worth it. Absolutely. So I like that's what I like about whole albums also is I like to listen to them from front to back. I want to know um I look at it like just a giant piece of art, not each song individually, but as a collective. And when you can put on an album and listen to it from front to back is a really awesome and magical thing because there are
Mm.
so many albums out there where you're like that song's okay, I guess, and skip,
Mm,
but
sure.
get more into underground bands and you find I find much more, front to back albums that are just fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're missing out also if you're because as a band, you might place a track in like the on the record that, I mean, if you just listen to it as a single track, it might not hit you that hard, but as a part of the whole, it can be, perfect, something that breaks away from the rest of the album, or I mean, creates some kind of feeling or emotion that helps you prepare for the next song or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
I
mean
agree.
that's exactly it, right? It's an emotional journey, or it should be an emotional journey,
Yeah, should.
So good on you. Um, what so you play guitar, you sing. Was there a guitar player that stuck out to you when you were younger that really piqued your interest in playing guitar?
um, Not really. I think I picked up a guitar. I started to play when I was, I think, 17 or something like that, and it was because my friends were into music and were playing, so it was just to be able to hang out with them properly. So and felt like guitar was just, I don't know how I kind of gravitated towards guitar. Actually, it just kind of happened. The other guys, we had like a bass player, a drummer, and another guitarist. So I mean, it was kind of natural to fill out the second guitarist spot there, I guess. I started to play a bit guitar at home before that as well, but yeah, I don't know. It wasn't like I had some kind of guitar hero or something like that. But then, of course, I mean, as you're starting to play and learn, there's people that you enjoy more. For me, it's a lot of the, maybe not the shredders or something like that, but more the guys who can create the atmosphere and play tastefully, and it's all about serving the song for me as a
Yeah.
as a musician on every instrument. Because now we used to be like a four piece previously, so we're still kind of riding like a four piece. And when we were doing live shows, we bring two extra guys also. So I mean, it's bass, drums, two guitars, vocals. That's the base for all of our songs. And every time I write a new part for it has to serve the song and serve the part. That's the most important thing. So those kind of guitars, like I really love Radiohead, for example. So like all of the guitars in that band. And like Johnny Marr was a guitarist from the Smiths that I enjoyed really very much, and I was a lot of into like post-hardcore bands that did this kind of like emotional melodic stuff that I really enjoyed also. So you pick up different techniques here and there too.
Yeah.
then you make some kind of mixed match of that into
Well,
your
that
own.
that's the beauty of digging into other styles of music because you can almost always pull something from it, that to
Yeah,
teach you.
sure, sure.
Um, I I was going to ask you how you guys translate what you record live, and I like that you bring two other people out with you to play. Are are the other couple of guys that go with you, are they like lifelong friends or just like hired guns?
Yeah, they're really good friends to us. So I mean, we picked them because I mean, they can play the stuff, and but mostly because they're good friends to us, and for us, we've been playing for a long time. Me and my brother, we've always been in bands together and know each other very well. So felt natural, to have. If we're going to bring in two more guys, should be people that we really know, because it's kind of the base of the band is friendship and brotherhood. So that was an important aspect when we asked them to join us live band. So they're more or less permanent live members now. So I mean that's really great. Also, we have
Yeah.
these guys who know they want to do as many shows as possible with us, and you don't have to rehearse all the songs again with new people, so on. So and we spend a lot of time together in you know tight spaces. So
Yeah.
it's important to be able to stand each other and like each other on the road.
Oh yeah, especially when it comes to stinky feet and
Yeah,
stinky butts, you're like, come on, put your shoes on.
yeah,
Jeez.
absolutely.
Yeah. Miss
Yeah,
that.
but we're still, even if we're in a duo now for this album and the previous one, we're still thinking, like a four-piece. And it's important for me also when we write the songs. I mean, we try to add on this record. There's some cello and trombone and so on, and keyboards also. And one of the other guitarist who joins us live, he plays a bit of keyboards live too. But when we do those kind of add-ons to recordings, we always, want to feel like we can still play the song well live without it, missing a huge important piece. So that's always kind of in the back of the mind when we're writing as well, that we should be able to play this as a four piece. And sometimes you have to rearrange things a little bit, but I think there's not a song that I think we wouldn't be able to pull off live if we try to make a fitting arrangement for a live show. So that's
Right
important,
on.
of course.
So is there a song that you like playing live just out of your whole catalog that you really enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, when we started to play live, we already had, I mean, three albums, uh, four, almost four albums, So we had a lot of songs to choose between. But I think kind of early on, we all felt that I mean, the songs that are a bit heavier, people really, they
Mhm.
get into it, and so that's nice, and also the songs that had a bit of more vocals, I think um, people were catching on to. I think just there was some element that stood out a bit more or something like that. Maybe the bit more like fast-paced songs. It was one song from our previous album Myriad called Ascension. That was like the third single from that album or something. And yeah, we put on the set list for a tour we did after that album, and we didn't know what the audience would think about it, but like the ending of that song, it was like and also like the beginning, we felt like because it's a bit slower and it's a bit more like percussive drums and so on, so it's a bit more swaying vibe or something, and people were starting to sway right at the beginning of the song. You can see that they were really listening, and there's vocals in it as well. And then like we worked on the ending to make it even more epic live, because we felt that, and we saw that people really connecting with that part. So now it's one of the favorites to play live, actually. And that was a bit of a surprise to us. And I think also, just that experience to go out and play more live kind of informed how we wanted this record to sound as well. uh, the kind of songs that we felt, oh, this is really fun to play live. People are connecting with it, and it's also fun, to play it.
Yeah.
Uh, we wanted to write those kind of songs, so it definitely affected the songwriting for this album.
Well, that's really awesome. I think I like how the album starts. It starts really flippin' strong. Like I really can't get over it. It's such a great freaking album. Um, I need to be rich so I can just bring you all over here and you
Yeah.
can just like play a show for me.
Sure.
Uh,
Yeah, and that was kind of, we wanted to have a strong opening track that was kind of a bit in your face,
yeah.
uh, heads on.
Yeah, it really, it really grabs you and I feel like it sets you up for the rest of the album too. Like it makes you pay attention and everything you all play really makes you it's not like you have to look at this, but it does pull you in and makes you just go along for this ride and um the way the songs are crafted and the way all of the instruments come together and the vocals, like everything fits so well and so beautifully. I'm
Well, it's
I
nice to hear. It's definitely what we were aiming for. So,
Yeah, like I can't tell you how excited I am to get it on vinyl. Like
cool.
that is, I'm like, yeah, I got to get that.
Mm,
Um,
nice.
so uh over the next 12 months, do you all have a goal as a band?
Yeah, I mean, it's now. I don't know when this is going to be released, but this is the day before album release when we're shooting this. So, I mean, just excited for the release and to see what people think about it. We're very happy with this album, and it really kind of reflects where we're at as musicians right now. So, of course, it's that, and then we have the tours coming up, both in the end of this year and the beginning of next year. So, I mean, touring, but also we already actually met up with my brother for some rehearsal last week, and we already have a lot of new songs that we're working on. So we feel like we're in this flow with our songwriting and creativity. So we try to write on that, and yeah, hopefully won't take too long to for the next album. We
Yeah,
got a lot of ideas that we want to realize. So yeah.
that's cool. The creative mind does not stop.
No. So
Yeah,
I mean, and when you're in that kind of period, because it's not always like that, I think you should, take every opportunity to just go with the flow and
yeah,
let everything come out, and.
yeah. You're absolutely right. You just you got to roll with it, right? Whatever
Yeah,
happens, happens. And if you're able to create more, like, yeah, let's do it. Like, let's keep going.
yeah.
Um, so that's super cool. Well, Jakob, I greatly, greatly appreciate you taking time out of your night, day, morning. I don't even know. Um,
Yeah. No problem.
to come hang out and chat with me.
Sure.
I really enjoy the band. I really look forward to seeing everything that comes from you all because it is a just a bunch of fantastic works.
Well, thanks so much. Really nice talking to you.
Yeah,
Enjoyed it.
yeah. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. See
Thanks.
ya.
See ya.